will now be on the record in 23 TR 2777, State of Kansas versus Anthony Edward Dubus. Jared Regier for the state. Is Mr. Dubus present? Anthony Dubus?
I am Anthony Edward Dubus. Dubus is the English pronunciation. Dubus is the original French. And I am appearing specially in propria persona, not pro se, as sui juris.
Okay, first of all, I can't see you, so you're not here.
Parents satisfied?
Thank you, sir. Now,
absolutely.
As far as I need to go, well, I need you back here in person.
Okay, well, it's propria persona, not in person. I'm not the legal entity that you're claiming me to be.
All right, sir, if I can't get you on camera, you're not here.
I'm doing so right now. I'm just removing it as it's taped. It takes a while.
Now, the second order of business, let's get your name straight. I know a family with the same exact spelling in America, and they do pronounce it Dubus, but you said you pronounce it
Dubus, as the original. Dubus, as the original French. Yep.
Very well. Dubus appears in person and pro se.
Correction. Propria persona.
Well, in this court, it's in person. And
correction, in all courts, it may be either pro se, either appear in person, or propria persona.
Well, in my years of law school and nearly 40 years of practice, both as an attorney and a judge, it's been in person, and that's what I'm going with, sir. I believe that is just fine. So in any event, we will proceed with your charges. In count one, sir, you're charged with operating a motor vehicle on a highway of this state without having a valid driver's license pursuant to KSA 8-235A. In count two, it is alleged that on or about the 17th day of August, 2023, in Butler County, Kansas, you did then and there unlawfully operate or attempt to operate a motor vehicle, to wit, a 2003 Honda Accord, upon a highway of the state, to wit, 1700 block of East Foxdale Street, Andover, Butler County, Kansas, while the vehicle was not registered in violation of KSA 8-142. In count three, it is alleged that on or about the 17th day of August, 2023, in Butler County, Kansas, Anthony Edward Dubus,
Thank you, Myron.
Unlawfully and intentionally.
Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's Courtroom Breakdown, we're diving straight into Kansas, where Anthony Edward Dubus finds himself facing the law, and not just any judge, Judge Webster. Now, she may seem calm and polite, but don't be fooled. This is a courtroom where theatrics and legal fantasies quickly hit a wall. Dubus, self-styled as a sovereign citizen, is already in the deep end, representing himself, questioning statutory law, and claiming exemptions that most legal experts would dismiss in seconds. Expect twists, frustration, and some head-shaking moments as confidence clashes head-on with judicial authority. Buckle up, this one's intense.
You can hire any attorney of your choice, but if you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. You don't have to have an attorney, though. You can waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself. So that's an order of business we need to take care of today, is whether you want an attorney or not. And then another is to make sure that you understand what the charges are and the possible penalties. Do you have any questions for me about that?
Yeah, I don't understand the nature and cause of the charges. I have not had my accuser face me to bring the charges against me, as is a violation of due process. And I want to correct, for the record of the court, the named defendant is different than the named person being myself, hold on, let me make sure I get that in view of the camera. The name person here is different than the one named in the charges and the counts, being a difference of representation of who exactly it is the charges are against. And it is to my belief and knowledge that per KAR 8243 subsection A, exemption from the motor carrier safety regulations, A, the occasional transportation of personal property by private motor carriers that is not for compensation and is not in the furtherance of a commercial enterprise. I am exempt from these rules and regulations, and if I need to get a USDOT number to show that I was not operating a commercial motor vehicle or as a common carrier for business or for profit or in the furtherance of a commercial enterprise, I will be more than happy to produce that USDOT number to show that I am in fact a private motor carrier, not operating in commerce, not driving.
Ah, the classic courtroom name chaos. Here, the mispronunciation of Dubis or Dubis, as he insists, becomes more than a minor detail. In a courtroom running on precision and procedure, even your name can turn into a dramatic sticking point. Whether intentional or not, moments like these chip away at credibility, especially when dealing with a judge who's seen decades of legal arguments. For viewers, this is a subtle but critical lesson. Attention to detail matters, and even minor errors can escalate tension. Remember, in court, everything counts.
Or driving, operating, the physical use or furtherance of for-profit business or for compensation.
It may under the commercial code, but not under the code otherwise.
It is under Kansas, correct?
It is not under Chapter 8 of the Kansas statutes or Chapter 40, which are filed under. But we can address that at a later date at a trial or a motions hearing if necessary. But I do not see the statutory language that you're addressing being applicable to these statutes, at least preliminarily at this hearing.
It is within, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's my ruling there. And then on the name issue, I am not tracking you there. The only difference I see is that at the top of the document, state of Kansas and your name are capitalized, and in the initial or in the individual charges, it's traditional capital letter of the first name, all lowercase of the remaining names throughout. So I'm not following that argument. Again, if you want to readdress that at a later date, we can, but I'm just not seeing that argument.
Okay.
Now
then. I motion and move this court to dismiss this case for the motion I have filed and for the brief in support of motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction.
Sir, I do not have any such motion or brief in support. Mr. Regier, have you received any such document?
So I fail to see, at least at this juncture, how such a motion is properly brought before the court, unless the court is aware of something that I am not aware of.
Well, that's what I'm trying to decide, if it's properly before the court. Mr. Dubois, who did you file the motion and brief with?
Well, seeing as you're...
Let's break this down. Dubis is facing 3 charges: no driver's license, unregistered vehicle, and no proof of insurance. To anyone watching, it's like a trifecta of trouble. Exactly the kind of combination that gets a judge's attention immediately. The law doesn't negotiate here. Missing documentation, regardless of your personal beliefs or interpretations, is still a violation. And while sovereign citizen logic can sound convincing online, in court, judges prioritize statutory law. This is a prime example of why legal myths rarely survive in a real courtroom. The stakes? Fines, potential jail time, and a swift dose of reality.
When did you email it, sir? When did you email it?
A while ago.
Judge.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do not accept emailed filings, only faxed or by mail or person.
Okay,
I'm
I was
sorry.
told that they do not have fax, so I could not do that. So email would be okay.
He may have called the wrong courthouse then.
They spent 10 minutes finding my case because your guys' system was down. So I'm fairly certain it was the correct one.
Okay. Do you recall which you filed or which court you called?
Let me go to my sent. T Stafford at bucokansas.com.
I think that might be at the county courthouse, not the district courthouse.
Okay. So
Is it? Okay.
if you want to file something, sir, let's make sure you file it in a fashion that will get it officially recognized. So Ashley, how do you suggest he file motions and the like?
He will either need to mail us a copy of it or he can fax file.
And is your guys' fax active?
Yes, it has been the whole time.
Okay.
It's
And
not effective, yes.
what's the fax number?
Our fax number is 316-321-9486.
Okay. And my honor, I have one last question. For the nature and cause of these charges, is it a criminal or is it a civil matter?
This is a criminal matter.
Okay. As is a criminal matter, there are two jurisdictions which I may be tried. One is the common law, and the other is a military tribunal. Which of those two do you intend to try me in?
I intend to try you in this one, sir.
Which is this one? Please elaborate.
The criminal one.
Well, criminal has two jurisdictions. It is either.
Here's where it gets interesting. Dubas invokes the private motor carrier exemption, claiming he's not operating in commerce. It's a textbook sovereign citizen argument, an attempt to redefine common traffic law with commercial code terminology. Judges, however, are well prepared for this. The courtroom doesn't bend to personal legal interpretations. It's fascinating for viewers to watch someone try to turn statutes on their head, but the takeaway is clear. Courtroom reality quickly crushes internet-driven legal theories. In real life, missing documentation trumps clever wordplay every time.
I am going to ask you one more time. Are you going to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or represent yourself, sir?
Again, I'm not representing myself. I am sui juris in proper persona or propria persona.
So you're not going to have an attorney, or are you?
No, I'm not going to be presented or re-presented by any British agent, registrant, or anybody else to be a ward of the state. I'm standing on my rights, and I do not abrogate them. And if you're going to continue to move this court without any sort of evidence, well, I guess I'll have to file that. But
we're going to set your hearing. How do you want to plead to the charges first? Then, if you don't want to have an attorney, how do you want to plead to no valid driver's license?
My honor, are you attempting to administer the trust without permission and consent?
I'm asking you for your response. I'm giving you the chance to respond. Do you want to plead to this charge or not?
My honor, I don't make any pleas as I am appearing in propria persona, and any plea would submit jurisdiction to the court. I am here challenging jurisdiction under the common law as I am owed the law of peace. And this is a fraud action as fraud in the inducement from the beginning under due process violations from Deputy Khalid Barake, and the other officers or sheriffs that were on scene. And if you are attempting to administer the trust without consent of myself, the living man, the grantor, in common law, which is above Admiralty maritime law, then you will be in violation of Article 3, Section 2, the trial of all crimes, except in case of impeachment, shall be jury, and such trial shall be held in a state where said crime shall have been committed, but when they are not committed with any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. And as there is a difference between the Republic State Kansas before the state of Kansas was brought into the Federation of the Union of States. And
here comes a classic motion to dismiss confusion. Dubus claims he filed documents that don't exist in the court system. Judges encounter this all the time. Self-represented defendants assuming that emailed or improperly submitted motions have weight. The reality? Courts have strict filing protocols. And if you don't follow them, your arguments are void from the start. For viewers, this is a reminder that understanding procedure is just as important as understanding the law itself. Attempting to bypass rules rarely works, and usually adds tension to an already high-stakes situation.
Anthony Edward Dubus, the proper case trade name, not the all-caps legal entity of which you're attempting to administer the trust of, am an American state national, a Kansas state national per 8 U.S.C. 1101, subsection 21, and is recognized by the Kansas Human Rights Commission as I have dealings with them going over my nationality in regards to a corporation in which I have a complaint filed against, has already been refused mediation by the company, and is being investigated by Barbara Carper, the special investigator of Kansas Human Rights Commission, over my case specifically. And if you are attempting to move this case against myself, you are in violation of executing law rather than just judging on it. Which, if I need to pull up that statute
Sir,
or case as well.
Sir, do you still have the same phone number you had posted on your bond that you have with AAA Butler County Bail Bonds? Is that still your current phone number?
My Honor, Mrs.
316-252?
My Honor, Webster, it is, you may call me either Anthony Dubus or Anthony Edward Dubus. I do not accept the term sir.
Very
Although,
well.
yes, my phone number is still the same at 316-252-9724.
All right. And is your address, okay. Addresses I found needs to be blocked. And Mr. Dubois, is your address still homeless, or do you have something more specific at this time?
See, they refuse to put down my address. I am within Wichita, Kansas, rural free delivery within the 4-corner rule 67202, aka the brackets around 67202. And they refused to put down my rural free delivery address and put me as homeless instead.
Now watch this. Dubus tries to explain why he couldn't file properly due to technical issues, ransomware, and stolen property. It's a chaotic mix of real-life obstacles and legal misunderstandings. Judges, though sympathetic, must follow the rules. The lesson here? Courts are unforgiving when filing procedures aren't followed correctly, regardless of personal hardships. For the audience, this segment highlights both the human side of litigation and the unbending nature of legal systems. You might empathize, but procedure always comes first. This is why having an attorney is often a lifesaver.
What do you have, Ashley? 2 weeks from this past Monday, what is it?
I believe that is going to be Monday, the 18th.
All right. Mr. Dubois, your next court date is December 18th at 8 a.m. by Zoom. You can always appear in the courthouse personally if you like. I am appointing Attorney Darren Patterson. Now, if you don't want to use him,
I do not accept any appointment of any attorney.
But I show that you don't have a specific residence. Do you have a job, employment?
I did, and then these actions against myself from the state of Kansas process of finding another one, putting in applications every day and making sure I do my due diligence to make sure that I can gain my compensation and my livable wage.
Well, your attorney is Darren Patterson.
My honor.
His number is 316-322-7700. Ashley, please send him Mr. Patterson, the appointment and the court date. I want you two to talk. If he can be of any service to you, I would encourage you to let him do so. If you have any questions or if you want him to help you with any motions, he can advise you on that. But
Okay.
I think at this point, there is a lot of confusion on your part about
No, there's
the
no
law
confusion.
and how it works. Did you
I've
go to
researched
law school,
more than-
Mr. Dubois? Did you go to law school? Are you a licensed attorney?
It is Anthony Dubus or Anthony Edward Dubus. No, I am not a licensed practice attorney, although that does not stop the common law right of anybody practicing law for themselves, or not practicing, as that is the commercial term, enacting law and being in court for themselves, on behalf of themselves, and to have any form of counsel.
And now we hit the fantasy territory, the common law versus military tribunal debate. Dubus questions which jurisdiction will hear his case, clearly confused by sovereign citizen rhetoric. Judges have seen it before, and the response is firm. This is a criminal case, period. For viewers, it's almost surreal. The clash between internet-driven theories and real-world law. Representing yourself here is risky, especially when navigating concepts that simply don't apply. This moment is both dramatic and educational, illustrating just how far personal legal beliefs can stray from actual statutes.
Which I'm hearing you say you don't wish to utilize, but nevertheless, I'm going to direct Mr. Patterson to at least be available to you, that you be here again December 18th at 8 a.m. by Zoom, and I'm going to continue your bond until that date and time. So anything else, Mr. Anthony Edward Dubois, please take that up. Thank you. Please take that up at the next hearing after you've had a time to talk to Mr. Patterson.
Okay. My last final thing I want to say is I'm already filing Kansas Commission on Judicial Conduct complaint against a judge, and that would be the prior judge, Mr. Mr. Lee, I believe, and I will be adding you to the complaint as well, as you are violating my due process right.
You're welcome to do that, sir, if you want, but at this time, this hearing is adjourned.
Okay, and I also want to mention that Mr. Regier has not moved this case against myself, and that the witness, firsthand witness that needs to be present to move this case against myself is not present.
Your argument
and is a violation of my Sixth Amendment. I yield.
Your arguments are noted, and we are.
All right, let's wrap this up. Anthony Dubus faced a courtroom reality check today. Missing documents, misunderstood legal exemptions, and a tangled sovereign citizen argument. Judge Webster remained firm, precise, and calm, enforcing statutes as they are written. The key takeaway? Confidence is enough. Knowledge of the law, proper filings, and representation matter immensely. For those watching, let this be a lesson in respecting the system and understanding courtroom procedures before taking the stand. If you found this case as shocking as we did, hit that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.